Afternoon coffee break with Darren Watts. Welcome back to Double Take Sports Talk with the Watts Brothers. I'm Darren, and that's Darren.
You bet.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today. You can be anywhere in the world, but you are right here with us. Thank you so much for your time. Let's get right down to the nitty-gritty. I have no health update.
Right.
I will have it next week. In the story. Questions. Good. All right. Now, I started out this series about hypocrisy, and I'm continuing it this week. Non-sports related ordeal. Daniel Robinson. Let's talk about him for a minute. Daniel Robinson went missing on June 23rd of 2021. If you didn't know that, that is the exact reason why I'm talking about this. Unfortunately, few people understand that people of color do not get media attention when they go missing. While in the height of Daniel Robinson being missing, Gabby Patino went missing a few months later. Now, let's be real. There's plenty of people that's missing in the United States, which is why we always ask the question about the national media attention that she got. Mm-hmm. How did she get that? One word: proportionate. That's a slap to the face to all the others that's been missing in that same state. It's a slap to their face. Authorities convened in Wyoming to search for her and found her remains in a national park. And in the same state, there are more than 400 indigenous girls and women that went missing between 2011 and the fall of 2020, according to their state report. And indigenous people made up 21% of homicide victims in Wyoming between 2000 and 2020, despite being less than 3% of the state's population. The media showed this disparity. Only 18% of indigenous females victims received coverage. 18. However, among white victims, 51% were in the news. Black girls go missing at high rates, but it isn't reflected in the news coverage of missing person cases, even though this person is not a girl, but Daniel Robinson hits that point.
Yeah.
He hits that point. In 2020, of the 286,884 girls and women reported missing, 90,333, or nearly 34%, were Black, according to the National Crime Information Center. Meanwhile, according to the census data, Black girls and women account only for about 15% of the U.S. female population, while in contrast, white girls and women, including those who are Hispanic, made up 59% of the missing, accounting for 75% of the overall female population. So let's talk about it real quick. The statistics. Missing person statistics of 2021. Really quick. Just a detailed, quick look at the numbers of all the missing people in the United States. Thousands of people are reported missing every year in the U.S. Now, while not every case gets widespread media attention, which you can understand why, but the coverage of white and minority victims is far from proportionate. 1. Black and missing in America. 2021 statistics. The source is the 2021 NCIC missing persons and unidentified person statistics as of February 2nd of 2022. 521,705 people reported missing in 2021. 59% of those was white, and that includes Hispanic, while 38% were minorities. 3% were unknown. Nearly 40% of missing persons and persons of color, yet African Americans only made up 30% of the population. Thousands of people were reported missing every year in the United States. And while not every case would get widespread media attention, coverage of white and minority victims is far from proportionate. That's emphasis. Mm-hmm. Why the disparity in the media coverage? This was a good question. Here are 3 possible reasons why. 1, Runaways. A lot of minority children are initially classified as runaways as a result of not receiving an Amber Alert. 2. Criminals. Missing minority adults are labeled associated with criminal involvement, gangs, and drugs. Or 3. Desensitization. It is believed that missing minorities lived in impoverished conditions and crime is a regular part of their lives. So when you look at those 3 reasons, I can sum it all down to one, and it's called labeling. Missing person report by gender of all races, 49% of females, which is 257,385 missing, while 51% of males of 264,610 has gone missing. 160 individuals was listed as unknown. And the breakdown based on their age and race under the age of 18, 55% is white, which includes Hispanics, 38% is African Americans, 3% is Asian and Indian, while 4% were unknown. 138,320 total missings of missing persons of color under the age of 18. That includes African Americans, Asian, and Indian. In 2021, 197,907 persons of color were reported missing. And of that group, 138,320 were under the age of 18. Yet, missing minority children were grossly underreported in the news. So how can we level the playing field? We need to put more diversity in the newsroom. According to the 2018 diversity survey conducted by the American Association of News Editors, newsrooms tends to be white and male. A diverse staff means a wide range of stories can be told. So you need to be able to get an Indian person in the newsroom. You need to get an Asian person in the newsroom. You need to get a Black person in the newsroom. You need to get different variety of cultures in there to be able to share stories where other people are comfortable coming to the news to be able to say, hey, this is a problem. We need to discuss this. But the person of that culture can explain it better far more than the person that is not a part of their culture. And don't get me wrong, there are people that probably can do it, but there's nothing like letting it coming out from that person of culture.
Absolutely.
So hashtag being diversity matters. Less is more, number 2. Balance the scale and show less of one group and more of everyone. See values in Black and brown lives, number 3. This is an American issue, and this does affect us all. Mm-hmm. And number 4, be vigilant. All of us, law enforcement, media, and our community should be vigilant in finding the missing. So this is very important with Daniel Robinson. We have to be diligent, and he's in the state of Arizona. Of course, we don't know what's going on. He was last in the desert. He was working, and he got in his car up and disappeared. They found his car in a ravine in the desert, but never found him. No evidence of blood, no evidence that he was killed. One of the worst places, to be honest, to be at when you want to commit a crime is the state of Arizona.
Yes.
It's one of the worst places to be.
Mm-hmm.
Wildlife would get you quickly. If you are in a non-populated area of the desert, wildlife can't get you. So I can understand why Daniel Robinson's family is concerned, and if he is out there, he needs to be found because this heat is no joke.
Yeah,
the heat is no joke in Arizona. So you have to be mindful of what's going on with that family. You know, you have to understand that this family is grieving. They're trying to find their son, and the news coverage is not there. Gabby Patino's went out like that in a matter, I think, of an hour or two. It just went out. You know, I mean, because you couldn't even open up the newspaper or open up an app without her being on the front page. And to today, it's still like that. And she's long gone and dead. And that may seem insensitive, but it's just the main point.
Big time.
Daniel Robinson ain't even shown. Last news article I seen of him was in June of this year. June.
3 months ago.
August, September. 3 months ago. 3 months ago. What can we do? We have to be diverse.
More diverse. Mm-hmm.
Have to be diverse.
Yep.
Anything else you want to
Well, yeah. I was just gonna make a quick statement, an example from when you said that on how diverse is really happening. One thing I would like to point out is why Brett Favre is not in the news. Why is the news media so quiet about him?
We'll talk about that next week. That was my next week's subject.
Mm-hmm.
That's my next week's subject. Why is the media being quiet about Brett Favre? This is the hypocrisy I'm ready to talk about with Brett Favre and Colin Kaepernick. All next week.
Yep. You seen it when it's all over social media. Now Brett Favre so quiet in the news media, but then when Michael Vick had that dog fighting, he was blasted all over the news. Blasted.
They put black people on news for the wrong things.
Exactly.
Okay, they put them on for the wrong things to make their point. But keeping what other folks do quiet. What Brett Favre did was just as worse as what Michael Vick did.
Sure did.
It's horrible. And it's inexcusable. And it needs to be talked about. I'm going to talk about it.